Hannah's computer. Okay. So the 10,000 women conference happening on the 10th of the 10th. That's a 2-day conference that Veronica is running, and it's moving forward. They're going to start advertising on it in February. So they want to have some really clear ideas of what they're doing. I think it was really great that we all got together and supported Hannah in representing us with one voice. It was a unanimous decision, and she's super, super psyched to be doing that, and she's super honored that that we chose her, and we all have confidence in her and the way that it worked. She's traveling now, so she can't be on the call, but I spoke with her. I spoke with her 2 times this week about this subject, so she filled me in, and I'm going to share with you guys what she told me, and we're going to brainstorm some ideas. So after we went through the decision that Hannah is going to represent us, and in the promoters group, I'm not sure if Hannah reached out to Veronica. Veronica reached out to Hannah, you know, where as far as the energy was going, the energy was so strong that it could very well be that Veronica 2 nights ago reached out to Hannah to have a call, and they got on a call. Not very long, about 10 minutes. But the things that, in short, Veronica knows about us. She knows what we've done. She knows we did the virtual conference. She knows that we're working together as a team to support women's leadership. She's spoken to Blair about us. Blair has spoken to her about us. So she's aware of what's going on in our team, and she's really open to ideas, and she would really like Hannah and us to be involved in whatever way. She doesn't know what that looks like, but she's open to ideas and us to be involved in some way, and she's very excited that Hannah is stepping up as well to be more involved in the 10,000 Women Seminar. So that was really exciting that she has the energy. I mean, she knows about us, and she's heard about us, and she's into it, and she actually knew about also the virtual conference we did in the summer, and she was brainstorming ideas with Hannah that maybe we want to take that content and share it with the publicity, the PR, the advertising that they're going to be doing for the 10,000 women. So she sees that as being something that's really super possible, and she brought it up. You know, Hannah didn't offer anything from our side. She just really listened to what Veronica was saying. So she's super open to ideas. She's also still open to ideas on the program, how the program will look. What Pal wrote the other day after a call with Miranda, I think it was Pal, right? You spoke with Miranda? And they said they're going to do like TED Talks, 20-minute TED Talks. So Veronica confirmed that that's one of the ideas that they're thinking about it, but it's totally not closed. So they want to, between now, I guess in the end of February, finalize, well, not finalize, but get an idea of what's going on so that they can move forward and to start to market aggressively. She's also taken on a PR person to work with them. So she's really very serious about it. And just a little background, she was going to do a conference for like 300 women. And Richard, he's the one that actually instigated it and said, you know, if you're going to do it, you might as well do it big. So she said, okay, if I'm going to do it big, then let's do 10,000. You know, it was like a jump from, 300 to 10,000. I think it's very typical of, us, of women also, and that push to do it bigger and to be bigger, I think is really, really cool and representative. So with that said, Hannah agreed to brainstorm some ideas with her on how the program should go. So I was thinking that, Hannah and I were talking yesterday, and one of the things came up is that I think that we should come off as a team that really wants to support her, because we have the same mission. And even if you look at the subjects that they're going to be covering, the subjects are the same subjects as ours, except for, purpose and beauty are interchangeable. We chose purpose, they chose beauty, although I think that Hannah is also going to speak to her about adding purpose or talking more about purpose inside that program. So if we can brainstorm ideas of how she should do the conference, this is what Hannah and I were speaking about. We would brainstorm here ideas of Just ideas about the conference, what we think it should be, how it should work, maybe the setup, what could our part in that be if we want to support her. Then Hannah will look at the recording. She'll make like a white paper of just our thoughts on the seminar and how we can help and just ideas. And then she'll present it to Veronica. And with the suggestion, you know, we'd like to help. And if she would like to get on a call with us to further brainstorm the ideas, then we'd be happy to do that as well. So this way we're kind of meshing with her instead of going neck by neck and not just trying to be, you know, a speaker in the event, but really to be support, because the event supports our mission, you know, and it's really one and the same pretty much. And why not? She's got much greater resources than we can possibly have. We'd be much more effective working together and instead of just taking a let's be a speaker role in it, which we can do also. So also Hannah's going to find out from her what she hadn't yet is what she needs to do to be a presenter in the conference. And when we were discussing it yesterday, also one of the things came up is we were thinking, just brainstorm ideas, right? So I'll just open it up to the forum in a second. But one of the things that we thought about is if they have 4 topics, they can have 4 keynotes. Like if they're going to go on the model of the 20-minute TED Talks. 20-minute TED Talks is really hard to absorb a lot of things. It's short, it's sweet, it might be inspiring, but there's like not real a lot of depth. So one of the things that we thought about yesterday was, one, that for each subject there should be a keynote, or in each segment, if there's 4 subjects, 4 segments of the day, of the 2 days, there could be a keynote. And so if there's a keynote, you know, Hannah was brainstorming ideas with Veronica of big names, you know, like Melinda Gates and Michelle Obama, which would be great, you know, really big names, which would be great. But we were thinking, okay, why not? And Hannah, you know, if there's going to be a keynote, why not her as well? Because she has a lot more experience than of doing transformational training in a large community. So she should put herself up there, or we should support her to put herself up there as being a keynote, not just a 20-minute presentation, but really an hour and a half presentation. And another idea that we thought could be good to make it more transformational is that they would have for each segment, like there's 4 days, so divided in 2 segments a day. Each segment have a keynote, have the TED Talks, and then have breakout rooms. So if you have 4 hours, a segment, which is plenty of time. You have an hour keynote, an hour and a half breakout rooms, and the rest of the time you can have quite a lot of 20-minute TED Talks. And maybe even the people who are doing the TED Talks can be the ones that are facilitating the breakout rooms. And this way the conference will be not just inspirational, it'll be inspirational and transformational. So if you have people in an hour and a half, we can do a lot of things with people in an hour and a half. So that was the ideas of the conference. And then I was thinking also that if the seminar is really just inspirational, then why wouldn't it be great? You know, maybe this is a dream, but wouldn't it be great if our program could be the back end? You know, so they do the inspirational in the 2-day event of a lot of speakers and get the momentum and inspiration and whatever. And then we offer, in whatever constellation that might be, but offer our 2-day program as the transformational, go from inspirational to transformational. And of course, it would be in cooperation with Veronica and Success Resources and all that. The financial aspect of it will be managed like a business part. But those are some ideas that we had. Any thoughts, ideas that we want to share with Hannah that she can put in this white paper? Just off the cuff. Anything that comes up is really good.
I was thinking as you were speaking, Mindy, if they're only going to have, like you said, they're only going to have talks. And I love the idea of breakout rooms and talks and the keynotes and all of that, you know, they can also have, for want of a better word, like little stalls. So invite entrepreneurial women who have offerings to man like a little. So each day, if you're an entrepreneurial female that has a business in health, and they're doing health in the morning, then they have their little booths, and, so that
Nice.
people can feel like they've got, they're listening to things, they're going into breakout rooms, and then, women like to shop. So even though it's personal development shops, it's like little, people can have little handouts or USB sticks or whatever it is to do little giveaways and that sort of thing. Because then that will solve also Veronica's problem. They always want to have like a little gift or a takeaway. You could basically say to somebody, you could basically give them a bag, and then they say, well, that's your bag to then go around the stalls, during your breaks and everything, to gather stuff from all of the different people's stores.
Excellent idea. Excellent
Definitely.
idea. Thank you.
I'm not sure if I'm getting Marinda right. If I hear what I heard, is Marinda did say they have this idea. They have a lot of booths. They will encourage the entrepreneur or speaker to take the booths. So it depends on like how many booths you take. Then you can be the the TED Talk speaker. From a very business standpoint.
So
you know what I mean?
They're gonna let the sponsors be the TED
Talks.
Talks.
The booth, then you can go on stage, and Marinda did mention that. So
I think it's a great idea. I guess it is a business. I guess it is a business. So let people have the stalls that will give them opportunity to be speakers. I would hope that it'll be more subject oriented, the topics that are interesting and qualified. But okay, very good. I like that idea. Anyone else? Simona, you had your hand up?
And after that, I'll go.
Thank you, Annie.
It depends. I think there is, again, to be very clear on what's going to be the outcome, because on one side it seems more, there are inspirational, but it's more kind of light thing. I see kind of funny, and just going around, listening to keynotes, what you want, but nothing to do with transformation. So there's not really a commitment, an engagement on the other side of what we talked yesterday with Pau, because we are working on the transformation. So it takes also commitment from the person and some work, I would say. So I think these are two different, completely kind of congresses, seminars, what you want to call them. So it depends, because on the side of transformational, what comes to my mind is also to offer kind of booths, to me, of 15 minutes coaching or things like that, where they can really experience the coach and see what it means to be coached, because not everybody does any coaching. And so you would have relationship coach, you would have business coach, you would have life coach or purpose coach or health coach. So this is the other thing I see. But it depends also, because if it's very fairy, it's difficult then to have something like that. It's so it's important to understand what's the outcome wanted.
I think that's a good point, Simona. I think that when Hannah does speak to Veronica, it should be really clear what the outcome is. Annie and I spoke about that yesterday. What does she want to get out of it? She wants a movement. She wants to create a movement, and she's calling it a movement. But what is the principle of the movement? I don't know. And I think that's a really good question that we'd have to ask her also, to see really if there is an alignment. That we don't really need to be in a group of 10,000 women if there's nothing, no value behind it. If it's just noise. I think you used that word. It's just noise. So I think we need to check that out also. And I think it's a great idea to let people really be coaching, doing something, showing their trade, helping, some way to help there. That's a great idea.
Yes, then at this point, it's needed an organization so that they can all book themselves for 15 minutes. It's not just show up and come, but then you would need kind of a table where they can, set up their appointments, and you just go, so that the coaches don't just hang out there, but they are busy themselves also. And on the other side, the people know when they have their appointment. So it needs an organization over there.
Excellent. Great. Thank you. Annie?
That is such a great idea. You know, like Steph's saying, it's having booths and then having spaces where you can actually coach, and like whoever out of our group can go. You know, not everybody's gonna possibly be able to go, but whoever can go, it's in our best interest to sit there and coach. And we all do different things, which is great. And it's funny you said, not funny, but you know, Veronica's trying to do a movement, and we are called Women Leading into the Future. You know, so what's the movement? The movement is about empowering women. We already have the name, right? And you know what I was just thinking. One of the things that, I mean, I don't know what the other speakers, what kind of training they have, but ours, I feel, is quite specific. So if you have a keynote speaker that does a TED talk for 20 minutes, inadvertently that person's going to facilitate. It's not just going to talk. It's going to facilitate. It's going to start engaging the crowd, which is going to be different from the rest. I presume. Yeah. I'm only presuming here, right? Whatever the topic is going to be. And then, you know how you said, Mindy, that we could be the back end. Now, if we have let's say a booth, instead of us having a book, you know, we have a membership site. So it could be a special of $1 or for free if you sign up now. Right? So get them to our membership site, because there's always something happening there. So at the moment, you know, we have that $1 special, right?
Yeah.
And but you know, give it away for free, or give it for $1 or whatever, right? I'll be okay with giving it away for free if they sign up, you know, there and then, kind of thing, right?
Absolutely.
So that's plugging them into our stuff. No, so wow, this, and I think this is really great, because I'm sure that Veronica is sitting there going, I mean, she's got ideas, I'm sure, but I don't know if you monitor her or follow her on Instagram, but she's really going nuts at the moment on Instagram. She's got some pretty good stuff that's coming up on Instagram, and covers a lot of the areas that she wants. You know, she talks about relationships, and then she has photos with Richard, and the support and spirituality and finance. So she's whoever's, if it's her who's doing it, wow. But if she's got somebody doing it for her, whoever's doing it for her is really great. Now, as I said to you, Mindy, yesterday, I was rather surprised receiving a connection request from her on LinkedIn. You know, because I mean, she knows me, but I didn't know how much she knows me. But I follow her Instagram, and sometimes I put comments and stuff like that, because I like what she's posting. So I was really, you know, pleased that she sent me a LinkedIn request. So then after our call last night, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to send her a little message and say thank you for the connection, and hope that you're well, and warmest wishes. So waiting for her to, hopefully she's going to respond, and then I probably would like to direct the conversation towards social media and what she's doing. And then I'm hearing about your 10,000 women, so I'd like to start the conversation with her myself. So what do you guys think about that? Should I have a conversation with her? Should I start connecting? All in favor?
Absolutely, start connecting with her. I don't know if I would go into a negotiation with her, but absolutely. The more contacts we have with her on a personal one-on-one basis, the better, you know?
I just think it's, if she gets to know all of us in some shape or form. I mean, she knows who we are, she knows who we studied with, but she only knows some of us better.
Yeah.
Right? So considering what she's trying to do, I kind of figured, well, you're just having conversations with her.
I think it's a great idea, Annie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just And just to let you know, girls, you know, I'm sure some of you know, Stephanie, you might know, but I started with Hannah. We started on the content, the relationship content, and it is really, really good stuff. Some good stuff is coming out, and some very key words that relate to relationships, and that is relevant to not just the relationship between a man and a woman, but relationships and how women turn up in the leadership roles from the masculine and feminine, and various ways of communicating and all of that. So it's coming out around really. I'm loving the creation of the content. It is. I feel really alive. I don't know. I think it's probably what I needed to start connecting to this right now, because I'm like every 2 days, and she was not well yesterday, and I was like, I was looking for, you know. So we're gonna book it in for next week or whenever she's free. But I feel very alive about this right now. I haven't up to now, but I'm just so alive right now. So it's great.
Great. Thank you, Annie. Yeah. Is there something else you wanted to add about the 10,000 women?
Probably one thing, you know how when you were saying that Michelle Obama might, you know, and all these women. And I don't know why I felt that we're the same, man. We might not have the zeros in our bank account, or we don't have that much of a exposure, but we are just as good. I believe.
Nice.
We are just as good.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you.
And that's what I feel like saying.
Thank you. Thank you. Any more? Yeah, Simona, please.
Yeah, sometimes these keynotes, yes, they can be inspiring, and going back to what I was saying before, but sometimes you feel they are too far away.
Yeah.
So they're not really allowing people to feel they can be on the same path. So it's a little bit not what I feel the best, my point of view, because I think sometimes you feel, well, that's her, she's that. So you find a lot of excuses, and don't worry. You can be inspired, of course, but to dare to take the first step, I'm not sure. That's my thoughts.
Yeah.
Sometimes people who have really done the you know, but more human, you know, sometimes I would say have more in reality.
Absolutely. And I think the combination could be good. I also agree with you. I don't see myself. Yeah, I think that's a good point to make. The thing is that we have to see what she wants. One second, Annie. I think it's really clear, becoming clearer as we speak about it, that we really need to know, if we were to help out in any way we can help out, to really know what her objective is. And, you know, if we could try to help her think more about how to make it transformational rather than just, you know, super inspirational. And I think that what you said, Simona, is really key to that. So if the audience feels connection to whoever is speaking, feels that it's possible, it can be more transformational. So if we can influence her in any way, Veronica, to make it, to have the objective of this big conference, the ability to have 10,000 women in one place and try to put in as much transformational stuff as we can to influence her to move into that direction. You know, so the two things that I have heard, and what's coming up for me now that we're discussing, you know, you have the inspirational, you want the keynote speaker to bring more people. You know, that's the reason, I would assume, to have it, because they connect more people. More people know what Melinda Gates, you know, is about than, you know, Mindy Stern. So that's a magnet. On the other side of it, I'm hearing, if what Pau is saying is correct, that the sponsors are going to be the ones that are going to be able to go on stage. You know, that's also not cool. It takes people away from the transformation, because what you're going to have, the one who has the more money to pay for their sponsorship is going to actually be the person on stage allowing to influence the crowd. Where's the qualification in that? What's the message they're going to give? How are they as trainers? And there's a whole bunch of things. So if it's a business opportunity, I don't know what kind of place we have in there. I don't know what kind of transformation can take place, because the focus is on, they gave me money, therefore they can be on stage. You know, I'm all for making money. I'm all for making money, but I think that they can make money and give real value to the participants. So yeah, I think that brings me back to the thought that it needs to be really clear with Veronica what the mission is, what the goal is, what the vision is, and see if we have really have a place in that. And I think that if we can be an influence, and go back to that, if we could be an influencing factor in giving her ideas that can help make it both profitable and transformational, give real value, I think that can be our added value for her. You know, because we're coming from a different mindset, and if we can think of really good ideas that'll help her reach her goal of filling up the room and making money and being transformational, oh my God, I think that we can be a good influence in that. What do you guys think? Taiwo?
To be quite honest, I don't feel like I have enough to really say very much about it. What I'm hearing is very much, as our focus is at the moment, is on what we contribute, and on very much on a doing level. And I think that if this is pulled off, that there's an opportunity there to listen. And so, as well as having being physical and perhaps speaking or perhaps coaching or whatever, we need to be there to listen, because there's going to be 10,000 women there that are going to start telling us and giving us information about what it is that they need. So in some ways, inspirational, transformational, in a way we don't know, because we don't know why these women are coming there. And actually we need to be present. We need to listen to the kind of questions that they're asking, observe where they gravitate to, observe the kind of people that are going there, because that is going to give us a lot of information as a group as to where we perhaps need to be going, and the kinds of people that are willing to invest in that, their personal development in that way. So that's just what I wanted to add.
Brilliant. Thank you, Taiwo. Excellent point. Pao?
I agree with Taiwo, because I feel, you know, go back to Bucky say, you know, if we've been called to that event, there's a reason to be there. I see it twofold. One is I can't see really an event like that could be really transformational, because the bigger the crowd, it's kind of like it can't get into really. It's like last time at MOTC, it's very inspirational. Even, you know, we have a very spiritual speaker. He's like way inspirational. I got a lot of nuggets from that. It's inspirational, but the room is so big. So I think even we can get an exposure, like be part of it, like bringing our presence into it. And then like what Ty will say is to know what's going on, that's why what I suggest is we all be there, even if it's just silently be there, like just be there, you know. And it's a real thing. It's not by just talking. It's just, and it's not putting up by us. And it's just like, that's why I'm like, you know, from the beginning, I normally, I'm very Bucky things. Like I don't go and do things. I would just be, if it happened, it happened. If it happened, it needed. If not, not. So I just making the stage, and I walked out, and Marinda caught me. And that was the first time I told Veronica. Then I was like, then we're looking at the universe. Okay, this is on. This is on. And then, you know, 10,000 women, October 10, and we have 10 women. What odd is that? So I see it, the flow will bring us, and I would say just be more receptive instead of like giving a lot of, I think Veronica have no idea herself too. So I think the thing is just evolved by itself. Like there's a bigger intelligence behind that govern things, and I would suggest we just roll with it.
Excellent. I also think we should roll with it, because it's right in our face. How coincidental is that we're pushing women leading into the future, and then here's this Veronica who we're connected to comes out with, she wants to do a movement just like our movement. It's just there's an alignment. The stars are in alignment, the energy is in alignment, and I agree with you totally, Pao. We should go be present, be present, and like Taiwo said, and listen. Also, not just in the conference, but also be present and listen and support on the path. If we have an opportunity to be present in whatever kind of decision making they're making, give ideas, be present, listen to what they're saying, what's their mission, and brainstorm. What can come up better than that, than just having a part in it, the energy, to be part of that energy that's going out, because even the concept of 10,000 women is a huge, huge, huge energy. Just doesn't exist yet, but already the energy is here, because we're talking something that's really big. It's right. Yesterday we're studying Bucky, right? So what did he talk about? You have the faster the movement, the quicker things are going to happen. And then also when you double this, when you increase the size fourfold, you get eightfold results. The size has a really big part of movement, of lag time, of how we're going to move things, of capacity that can happen. So totally, we should be present. We should be in the flow and just be present in it. I like that. Thank you. One of the things that I had said to Hannah yesterday also is, I think a little bit, I can't help it, I think a lot about marketing. She's got nine months to market this, and wouldn't it be great, apropos what you mentioned, Taiwo, wouldn't it be great if before the conference she could already get feedback from the participants on what their issues are, what's going on for them. So I suggested to Hannah, one of the ideas could be that she compile 2 books. I'm in the mindset of books and collaborative books right now, and one for us as well. So I said, she should do all the speakers, they should have, write their 1,000, 2,000 words on what, women's place in society today, and that can compile a book, and that can be a gift, or that can be a product that they can sell. But on the other side, the participants do like a challenge, or I don't know how to call it, not a challenge, or I don't know how you call it. When you put out there that everyone write what they think, you're participating, you want to participate, put it out there. You have an opportunity to be in the book that we're compiling in 10,000 women. Give us your 200 words on what you think about women's place, or where women are going, or women's leadership, and then you can get from the audience already, even before Taiwo, even before the conference, already get input from them, and you can make it like, be chosen to be part of this great book that's coming out. And so everyone can have their little piece in it of what they think about women's place, or women's place in the future, or where women are going, and then you can get already during the marketing a lot of ideas, and that'll help her decide also who's going to be there, what they're going to do with that. And then if she really wants to create a movement, she's got a lot of information to see what do women need. Already listen before. So that was also one of the ideas, because it's a great opportunity to learn. When do you have so many people that are sharing, women together, that can share their ideas, or their frustrations, or their dreams, or whatever. Simona.
I don't know what comes out after that we have listened to everybody is, I think the choice is again before that, because if you brainstorm with her, it's kind of participating, and it goes completely contrary to what Pao and Taiwo was saying about going there with Hannah, going on stage and then listening. I think that's what I get, and I might be wrong, it's just something. So, because the moment you get engaged in the brainstorming, you're not just saying do this, do that. I mean, that means that you're going to be engaged, and that takes you in the doing phase, I think. Because if you tell me, yes, why don't we do this with the marketing, then either two things happen. You just give an idea and they do all by themselves, or you give an idea and they say, yeah, but you, at this point, you're going to do something for that. So you're going to find yourself working in that project. So again, here we have, I think, listening to everybody, we have at the end two main parts. One is having Hannah to go on stage and prepare that, which is going to prepare all the things we are still preparing and keeping doing that. And the other one is getting kind of involved with success resources, which means totally different things. And it means also to have ideas in there. And it gets also to financial business things, because I cannot help it. I'm not trusting 100%. So I don't know. I'm just putting out there, and it's a discomfort over there. So I need to voice it out. Could be my little voices, could be maybe not so sure, but just putting out there.
Great. Thank you, Simona. Yeah, Annie.
Well, it's actually a good point. I mean, we don't really know them. We don't know Veronica. We don't know Success Resources, really. I think the only person here that has worked or had dealings with them at this point is Simona, because you had to pay them.
Yeah, and it was a difficult topic.
So I think we got to be very careful of our brand, you know, the WLITF. And I think that if we're going to help give them all these great tips, she'll go off with them, you know, and then we gave the tips, so that what's the reciprocity there? So it's something to keep in mind. And it's not about the money. I believe it's not about the money. This is just a massive opportunity for us to be put in front of people. However, if we use our, this is all of our IP, our ideas, our things, well, then there has to be something in return in some shape or form. Yeah.
Thank you.
So,
okay.
On that point, so for me personally, I would be just quite happy to attend the 10,000 women event and absorb it all and see what's going on and support Hannah and everything. I do really, I understand what you're saying about going with the flow and maybe trying to get involved with it, but I think maybe what Pau is saying is that what has been happening so far has been happening organically, and that that we allow that to continue to happen. And maybe our commitment at this stage is to support Hannah, and as much as many of us as possible attend, because what is happening in this meeting is what is going to happen moving forward if we're not careful. We came to a meeting about women leading into the future, and we spent like nearly an hour talking about, and I'm not saying that it's a wrong thing, but we spent nearly an hour talking about something that we weren't expecting to talk about. And what can then end up happening is that we get diverted into this 10,000 women thing. Like Annie says and Simona says, we put all into that, and then we don't really get very much out of it, because if it's I'm not sure how realistic it is going to be that we get it's a good idea for us to have our 2-day or whatever as a back end, but everybody else that's going to be there is going to want to have some sort of back end as well. And Success Resources is a business, and they are going to want to push the things that they know are going to sell. And I'm not even sure how they know what they know is going to sell at this stage, because they don't know who the women are that are attending. So I think that we just need to be careful about the energy that we put into this and the expectations that we place on that energy, because we are in danger of getting diverted from what we are doing. So that's the end of my point.
Thank you.
And this recalls me, like Pau was saying, what we studied yesterday with Baki. You get in something and more problems come. So you just need to be careful in understanding how much time do we want to engage, in which way. Be very clear. We just continue with what we are doing, because otherwise it becomes a distraction. Totally get what Taiwo is saying. So we just keep going with our 2-day programs. We keep focusing on that, preparing something which represents us. It's our brand. And we go there with Hannah on stage, possibly, if they want them. And then we are there, silent in the room, present, listening, learning what we need to do, and then see how it goes. And just see, there are 9 months in between, but keeping focus on what we are doing now, because it's exactly right what she's saying, Taiwo, that otherwise we completely miss out and all our calls are going to be there. Other problems are going to kick in because, of course, the game is changing again and we are not ready for it. We still don't have our program. We still don't. So just keeping focusing, finishing what we are doing and just following up with what is coming, but understanding how much is the commitment, how much is time, energy, and everything. That's because that becomes another business. And then we need to be looking at it as a business, and it takes another kind of energy because we deal with a partner, big partner, big.
Absolutely.
In all sides.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things here, and I think everybody has very, very valid points. And, you know, I look at this and I go, okay, we've asked some really cool questions, which if we go over them and we gave some input, it's, we just created our own stuff, I would say. Everybody working on this idea, but everything we just shared here today is we can use for ourselves when we're doing our stuff, right? So that's a possibility. Because if let's say we created like a TED Talk kind of thing, 10 women, 2 days, blah, 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 whatever, and then we actually do some coaching outside, we're giving them so much value. So this is pretty cool in itself. That I just thought of that right now. The other thing is that we actually, whichever way this is going to go, and it goes ahead with Hannah representing us, because she has been around quite a bit for how many years now, since 2012, she's been around. So that's quite a few years. She's dealt with these people. She knows what they like. She's very aware. And if she, she's going to watch this video, she's going to talk to us. And I'm sure she will know exactly how to direct the conversation, and especially after what happened in Brazil. So, she's been there, had certain situations happen to her. I think she's very aware right now, and her ears are probably listening even more now than they've been before. So I think she will know exactly how to direct the conversation without giving away too much. I would say she's extremely switched on, and I'm not saying that we're saying she's not. I'm just saying that I think she will know exactly where to take the conversation. But I really like what Taiwo said also, because it's even though there's an opportunity in here to be in front of that many women, and whether they get 10,000 women or not, well, who knows, right? But there's that opportunity for us as a group. But also, let's not forget what we are trying to do. But I actually think what we just talked about right now, and all the points that we've talked about, well, we can use that for ourselves, girls.
Yeah. Great, Annie. Thank you.
Yeah.
So just to wrap this up, the subject of the 10,000 women, to wrap it up, I guess our position is more so to just be present and listen. And Hannah is going to represent us, so she will have the dialogue with Veronica. and to see what that means for us, what she's going to do. And hopefully she'll find out also what the intention is, what Veronica's intention is, and hear from her, from Veronica, how we can support. And then we'll decide if we want to support, if we don't want to support, to be in the doing. I think that we're a big enough team to be both, but we'll decide as a team if we're going to do that, because we can be there and listen and absorb, and we can also be there and try to push a little bit, or not push, but influence, give influence from our perspective. You know, if we have our ear, maybe that's why the universe put us here, you know, to sit back. That's just my point of view. So we can definitely do both, but right now we'll leave it to Hannah to have the discussion with Veronica. She'll listen to what we're doing, and then we'll see how we take it from there. I agree with you all. I mean, it was never anyone's intention to start taking on Veronica's project as our own. Just now to see how we are going to mesh with that, what we want to get out of it. That was more for the dialogue, because we're continuing with our stuff. Our program is going to be ready in the beginning of April, and 2 groups already started working together. Karen and I are meeting tomorrow for the first time on the wealth group, and the health group. Have you started also, Simona? Have you guys started?
Yeah, we did. Yesterday we did our first meeting, and we have our overall idea. Mindy, just to support what you say, because I heard like Marinda say, actually, Veronica she's in many women's group. Like, there are like many women's group, and even June and even Marinda, you know, when they attend those women group and they watch the speakers and everything, even they feel like this is not the energy I want to get involved. I'm not showing off as a woman or comparing or anything. That the energy isn't right. So I think, as I say again and again, if we've been called to show up, it's the universe say, show up, you guys, because our energy is being needed. It's always that way. So I would say, like, just see whatever been called and show up.
Excellent.
Because Mindy, I wasn't saying either or. I'm just saying that we need to be mindful that we don't. That there's an opportunity here, but let's also keep ourselves on track for what we are wanting to do as well.
Absolutely.
It's like a woman and going into a relationship. She doesn't lose herself in the relationship. You see what I mean? As an analogy. I
totally get it. It's a super valid point. You know, it's super valid, and we need to measure our steps and what we're going to do. But as long as we're present, we'll find the right way. You know, we'll find the right way. And Hannah is, you know, right now she's the spearhead. So let her do it. Bring back feedback to us. Listen, and then we'll decide what to do. But we're going to keep on our path. We've got a great program that we're designing now with a fantastic agenda, an avatar. We put so much effort into getting to where we are today and creating this energy and we're almost there. You know, how long is it? 8 weeks. 8 weeks. We're gonna have a program. You know, oh my God, 8 weeks after we've been working on this for 9 months. So I think that we've got a lot to say, and we're going to say it in our way, with our energy, with our agenda, and to our people. Whatever comes into that world is going to be great, and to stay focused. I totally agree with that. We've come so far.
You know, Taiwo, I love how you have this amazing capacity to see that other side and to balance things out. Because like, say for example, me, I get really passionate. I'm like, and I think it's really great that you have, you know, so we've got some women in this group who are more, I don't know what's the word.
Grounded.
Yeah, more grounded. Some of us are more floaty, you know, I'm a butterfly. And like from the beginning of this call to like now, I changed my mind about 10 times. So, you know, so everybody's point of view. And then I go, oh, how does that work? Oh, how does that relate? And then Taiwo comes in with, how about this? And I go, oh, yeah. So I just want to acknowledge you and say thank you, Taiwo, for being our ground or my ground. And I really appreciate it because it's true. So it's good to bring it back and go, oh, yeah, that's what we're here for. So I do appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Annie.
Thank you.
for early in the morning.
Cool. Okay, so let's see if we can go through the half hour we have left to go through the groups on what's been going on. I know that you guys in the Facebook group did a compilation of all of the posts, who has been, how many views, how many likes, how many comments on each of the posts. I think just in the last session, right? I didn't see it going back to the beginning.
Yeah, that was the last 10. So we look at it in groups of 10 weeks, so rounds of each of us going. And so in the last, I'm not going to, because I circulated it, so I'm not going to go into that in detail, but basically we just took down the number of people that viewed, the number of people that, or the number of people that saw the posts, whatever form it was, the number of people that liked it, the number of comments, and the chart is not about comparison. It's just about saying this is information. And I think it's for each person to go back and look at their posts and look at and kind of think about the insights that come as a result of it. What did come very clear was that with if it was a video or if it was viewed, if it was a live, then it got seen by more people. Now, because Mindy and Claudia did lives, it actually showed how many people viewed. Now, view means that they clicked on it. It doesn't mean that they watched the whole thing, but they viewed it. So, and if I can just, I'll just pop onto this page. Right, yeah, so then what we found was that in the week of Mindy's, I think Mindy did 3 lives, and of those lives, the smallest number that viewed it was 61% of those that had seen it, and the maximum was 78%. And then Claudia, the week that Claudia did the live, it was 52%. But at least, so if we say that that the videos are getting more, because we can kind of extrapolate that and say that, well, the videos that were uploaded may well have got that level of between 52% and 78% of views. Karen's, I don't know, and it might be because Karen, there's a lot of people from BSTA in that group, and so I don't know whether there's a correlation between that and the number of views that Karen gets. But Karen got that hour-and-a-half interview that she did, got the was most seen. So there was about 80 something people saw it. And then outside of the posts, the ones that got the most that was seen were Annie posted something about an ear and a heart, and that got quite a lot about in the 70s. And then I posted something about my mum, and that was that, and that one, it might have been the day of the week. Earlier in the week seems to be the better day in terms of, so if you've got something, I don't think advertising is probably a good idea, because it takes people off the platform. But if you've got your key piece of information, I think that needs to go earlier in the week, because that seems to get pushed Monday or Tuesday. The other thing is that as the Facebook team, what we're trying to stress is that we don't put posts that link to other websites or other Facebook pages, because there've been a couple of posts that have come into the group that they've been shared into the group, and then there's the button to go and like another page, and it takes, what we're trying to do is to get people to want to keep scrolling down, and if we're directing people off the page, then we're losing them. And also a lot of the stuff that is coming, we need to avoid sharing things like gold casts, things that they can find anyway. we need to avoid sharing those things into that group because Facebook doesn't like it. And so even if we're getting maybe 42, 43 people seeing them, then maybe there's a possibility that we're not able to see, we're not getting as many people who could have seen it because Facebook won't push it. So can we please avoid doing that, and also avoid just duplicating what is on our Facebook page. And now that we've got the avatar, we know that we need to target. And actually our Facebook page, if we're doing stuff around leadership on our Facebook page, we should be our own personal Facebook pages, then we should be directing people into coming in to have the conversation in the Women Leading into the Future group. The other thing I wanted to say about the likes and comments was that what I posted on what I put in the insights was actually the people that liked or commented that wasn't one of us. So what we're needing to do is try and find a way, and to get the engagement, and we're still not getting the conversational engagement. It's still the same people. So that was something else that we spoke about in the Facebook group. I'm just looking at my notes here. Yeah, if you absolutely have to post something that has got a link, the link has to go into the comments. Don't put it on the top. First of all, it doesn't look very attractive, and secondly, Facebook, the algorithm will just knock it out. So just make sure that that link goes into the comments, but try and avoid as much as possible linking people outside of the group. And if we're sharing stuff into the group, need to have its relevance to the group, not just because it looks good or it seems to be. Just it kind of let people understand the relevance of it being in the group. Then the other thing, so what we're going to do now, right, okay, so the next group of 10, okay, so...
Can I just add something, Taiwo,
yeah.
so we close the numbers, is that what we have seen also is that the numbers we got this second turn are more or less the same numbers we got on the first
round.
So it's kind of a stable situation at the moment.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yes. And thank you, Simona. And so moving into the next round, we've already started the next round. Okay, so this bit, the Karen situation has been sorted, hasn't it? In that she was duplicated. She's changed that, hasn't she, Simona?
She has. She said so.
Yeah. And then Annie, did you say that you've put yourself down?
Well, I'm waiting for Linda to come back to me, see if I can change it with her, because I really wanted to do February. I'm so sorry, I completely forgot to put my name in, and I mean, I kind of wanted to do February. And I didn't. I mean, if
is Linda the only person that can change? Is Linda the only person that can swap with you?
Well, I can possibly.
What is your date, Annie? What is your date? At March?
I don't have one. Oh, when I want to do it, I'd probably like to do either next week or the week after that, or the last week of the month, because I'm away for 1 month, for a week with Linda. We're doing a retreat, so the first week, the last week of Feb.
So what is the date that you want to swap? It's March?
February. No.
So are you let me
Can I say something? I think I have St. Valentine's week, because when is St. Valentine's? I have no idea.
The 14th.
The 14th.
I think I have that week. If you want, I can swap it. I don't really mind.
My only thing is that I'm leaving on Valentine's Day.
Oh, okay.
And I'm just not really sure how.
You also have the webinar that week.
Yeah, so that's Thursday, the 13th. I'm leaving on the 14th, but the 15th and 16th, which is Saturday and Sunday, I don't know what the internet is like over there, because we're going to the Cook Islands, so I don't know what the internet is like. So
sorry, when are you going to be away?
From the 14th
of February.
to the 21st.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah,
You don't have to post every day, Annie. If you start on what is it? You start on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You have 4 days. You don't have to post every day.
Hold on.
You
Just
don't?
No, I think the rule was 3 times minimum.
Okay, there you go. Where I post every day. There you go. Okay, well,
okay, there's
Mona,
a gap. There's a
I
gap.
would love that.
Hold on one moment. There's a gap on the week of 9th of March. And if you could do that week, then
You mean 9 to 15?
yeah. Then Annie, that would be next. That would mean it's next week, though.
Yeah,
Annie.
I can do March.
So Annie, that means that you would be next week.
Okay, well, ideally, ideally, with what I do, the week of Valentine's Day would have been a perfect one for me, and it's
so Simona, can you do next week, and Annie, you'll do your week?
No, next week not, because I am in Belgium. I'm traveling, and I am doing.
Okay, and Simona, can you do the 9th of the week of the 9th of March? Okay, so swap that way then.
So if I do next week, and Annie do the week of the Valentine's.
Yes, awesome. Thanks.
Annie, and then I do March.
Okay, Simona, will you change that in the
I will
thing,
do
please?
later. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to go very, very quickly because we're running out of time now. So the last thing is that what we're going to do is that for the next in the next meeting, I think we need to have a conversation about how the Facebook group connects with the membership site, because we're missing a trick here because we're not getting people from the Facebook group to the membership site. And also what is going to happen is that Simona, Claudia and I are going to meet, and we're going to come up with try a different plan really for the next round of 10 weeks. And maybe now that we've got the avatar, we'll the program we've got and start making it correlate more to the program that we are delivering instead. So that's all I'm going to say now because we're running out of time.
Okay. Thank you so much, Taiwo and the Facebook team. If I could just
one final thing. It's the membership, the men. Sorry, the whole issue about the men. There are. Although we've got the avatar, my understanding is an avatar is who we target to, but other people can if other people are interested and have a good a connection with what we're doing and want to support it or want to be involved in it, then that they're able to do that. I think that the key thing that we need to do also is the questions. And so that we know why the people are wanting to join the group, and then as on the basis of that, because if men know what we're doing, then they may well be able to bring women in. They may well be able to learn from it as well. And so that's what we decided as the Facebook group, that's where we would go with that, because there are several men in the group already. So that's all I'm going to say right now.
Okay, thank you. So if I could just summarize what I heard: lives get more views. Try to put the main subjects earlier in the week because there's more chances that they'll be seen. Don't share links or other people content that brings you out of the group. And if you must share a link, do it in the comments. And if anyone's posting on their own personal page anything that has to do with leadership, then they should be pushing people into the Women Leading into the Future group reference.
Yeah.
So Annie, that would be something that we can do on our podcast, is just reference also. I did a hashtag Women Leading into the Future. But should I do something else, Taiwo?
Well, if you've got something that is really that's really specific, or if there's a post, for instance, in Women's Leading into the Future, that your podcast is, you're talking about something in your podcast, and you say like, oh, but actually we're talking about this in the Women Leading into the Future group. This is the link to the Women.
Tag it or hashtag?
Yeah.
Tag it.
No, because you need to give them, if you're doing it in your podcast, you need to give them the link so that they make it as easy as possible for them to link into the Women Leading into the Future group. Likewise, so it's not, so if what we're thinking about doing is making the Facebook group going along the themes of our program. And so, for instance, if you had the theme of purpose, then you were doing something on purpose in your own thing, then say, oh, well, but we're actually having this dialogue in the Women Leading into the Future group. Go to the Women Leading into the Future group. That's what I mean.
Okay.
But we'll talk about that in more detail as we're going along.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Give it up for the Facebook group. Woo! Yeah, thank you for all your work. Okay, I have for the promoters team something that I want to share, but any other teams have something you want to share?
Be very quick. I'll be very quick with the values and the code of honor group, values group. So I, as you've probably seen, I just sent a message to the 3 ladies who still haven't filled in the form. So they all said they're going to do it. And Simona and I we talked, and I think we kind of nailed our values, so we can share with you guys next week. So that's pretty much it for us with that.
Excellent. Okay? Thank you. Values next week, next meeting. Okay, I'll make sure I put we'll start with that.
Yes,
okay. Stephanie.
Just for the webinar, Annie, I didn't know you were going to do it on, are you going to do it on Valentine's Day or the 13th?
I can't do it on Valentine's Day. I'm flying at that time.
So what day are you going to do it?
13th.
Which means we need to start promoting now. So that email that I sent to you, needing that information, I need that now so I can start writing the copy so that we can start promoting the whole week before. Yeah?
Okay. Can I ask from you guys? I mean, you're both on these sides of me. Okay.
Yeah.
Stephanie, would it be possible? Annie knows what her stuff is. I mean, we've gone over it. Annie and I have worked on it together, so she knows what her stuff is. Can you interview her to help her write the copy?
Sure.
I think that it would be a lot easier. Annie, is that okay with you?
Please.
I saw like
She knows me so well. My heart is in my throat right now, and I don't know what to say.
No,
it's just this was the first time
on your shoulder.
It's just this is the first time I heard that it was going to be on the 13th, and so I sent you an email a week ago because we need it 2 weeks before to give me time to write the copy to then start to send it out to everybody and post it.
Well, I was going to do it on the 26th, but then...
Okay, can you guys work this out? Yeah.
Well, I said 26th, and then you asked me if I can do it on the 13th. So I gathered that I have to do it on the 13th because I can't do it in a week that I'm away.
Wait, what? Yeah. It's better, I don't know, explain why. It's better that you do it on the 13th, and which is a good time for because your Valentine's Day, it works out also well in that regard. We just have to bump up the promotion, and I'll share with you what we were talking about in the promotion group about March. So it would work out better if it's on the 13th. So
she's on that side of me, so I don't care what day it is. You just tell me so I can do the promo.
Yeah. So my suggestion is let's go on with this meeting because we have only a couple of minutes left, and that's something that you guys can work out outside of this forum. Is that okay? Thank you.
Gotta be.
Yeah. Thank you. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Okay. Anyone more teams want to report before I go into what we discussed in the promotion team? No. Okay. I just want to say, the membership site, we have someone signed up for it, which was really great. She actually signed up because she missed the webinar last month and she wanted to see the webinar. So I hope that she continues to go into it. And we have to see how we can support her. Now that she's into the site, what do we do to support her? We've gotten her there, and there's nothing really for the continuation. So the membership team, which I'm on, Simona, I think you're on, and Linda, we've never met like in an official capacity. So we're going to have to get on that and see how we can support better and make it, you know, there's one person in it, so we don't have to put exorbitant energy into it, but to start to create some kind of system to support that person, and the more people that come in that will want to have.
Can you do that in conjunction with the Facebook group, because Facebook team, because that was partly what we were discussing in the Facebook team, because what my understanding is that the webinar goes up there, all the stuff that we post on Facebook goes up there, and so we're not giving the people on the Facebook group an incentive to go into the membership, onto the membership site, if all the information is there free. In that, so if we can have that conversation together, because we need to start thinking about removing things that are on the membership site from the Facebook group and creating limitation in the Facebook group that will give people the incentive to go up onto the so for instance, Stephanie did some teaching around energy, I believe. It's because your face, your thing just came straight into you're big on my screen, and so that's just there. So anyone who joins the group today can just access that. However, people that have been in the group since August can still access that. So why would they go up to the membership site? So if it's there for, we say it's going to be there for a couple of weeks or for a month or something. And if you want to catch it, then you have to come up and join the membership. So that's what I'm just trying to say, is that if we could have that initial thing together so that we can see how they work together.
Excellent idea, Taibo, thanks. We'll do that. Okay. Now next, the promotion team, which is Pao, myself, Hannah, and Karen, right? Pao's on the phone. It's okay. So we got together. We had a really, really, really super great meeting. I think it was last week. You know, all the weeks to get meshed up. I think it was last week. And one of the things that we came up with and we shared with you guys in the meeting prior to that was the idea of proof of concept. You know, we had a long talk with Romy, and we had a talk with Deverick in Vietnam. And the bottom line is that we really need to have proof of concept, which was hard to do because we didn't have an avatar. But now we have an avatar, and we're working on our program. So what we're thinking, maybe I'll take a step back before I get into the doing, more of the being. One of the things that came up in the conversation was that Pao brought up, and I think is really super legitimate, that you know, because we didn't have a project to work on as a team, we have time limitations, we basically divvied out all the responsibility one at a time. So one person takes the lead of the Facebook, and one person does the webinar. So instead of having that energy as a group and a dynamic as a group, it's kind of like an organization of a lot of individuals. And she was saying, but we're a group, and part of our dynamic and part of what we want to teach is to be as a group. So maybe there's something that we can do again to create that sense of group again. How many people like that idea? How many people feel that we have separated from being that group activity into individuals? Simona, thank you. Anyone else? I feel it also, you know, that this person is doing, even though we're meeting in every 2 weeks, even the work groups are meeting in smaller groups, and there's not a lot of, you know, interaction between other groups. So it's not as a team. So bringing that up, we were brainstorming ideas. The first idea was that we wanted to create, if you guys are into it, to create a video of all of us. Now, what's the hard part of that is we're all in different places of the world. So how do we create a video of all of us? So the idea that we came up was that we do a video that's a compilation of each one of us. So every one of us does a selfie, a video of himself, of what leadership is for you, like 30-second video, 20-second, 30-second video, not too long. And then we make a compilation of that, and that will be our group effort. We'll use that, and we can use it in marketing, we can use it in branding, we can use it all over the place. But each one of us do a segment of what leadership is for us. Even if it's redundant, it doesn't matter, because we each have all sorts of different energies bringing into it. So does everyone agree to do that? Do a 30-second, 20-second to 30-second video of yourself saying what is leadership for you, that we can use to create a compilation of for us, a group video? Is that okay? Yes. Yes.
So that's kind of working on the brand again.
That's
It's
also working on the brand.
working on the brand of the group and not just people being part of a group.
Right, exactly. That was the feeling behind it. Taiwo, are you okay with that? Okay, so we took that idea and then we expanded that idea. So if we are going to go out there, also if we're going to go out there, let's take the same concept of a compilation of our thoughts into a group effort to write down what we think of leadership in about 100 words, 100 plus, 150 words, to write it down, what you think of, and we'll create a little bit of a booklet of something that people can download, and that can be like our free offer. So it's again part of our branding as a group, and it's the same question. What do you think? What are your thoughts about women being leaders? Okay, and just write down a paragraph, about 100 words, and then we'll compile that. Is that okay with everybody? Yes. Give me a thumbs up. Yes. Good. Okay. So we've got, if you can do that prior to both of them, the video for 30 seconds and the paragraph 100 words by the next meeting. So 2 weeks. Yes.
I'm not sure I'm going to manage it for next week, for the next meeting, because I'm traveling for the 2 weeks now. I have a lot ahead, and I'm going to be back working on the 9th. What is it? The Monday. So it's going to be the 9th on the 10th.
Can you do it that week? Can you do it by that week?
Yeah. So if I manage from there on, but I'm not going to work on this thing now, I can't. So I'm not promising I will manage to get it done by then.
Yeah,
I'll be on the week,
on that note, I think that we also have to be really mindful that we have other things going. And I love the idea. I think it's a great idea, and but I think that we have to do it in a way that is manageable for us. I'm not going to be able to get that done in the next 2 weeks. There's stuff that I need to do. There's something that I'm doing, some work that I'm doing that is taking my time at the moment. So I'm not going to get it done by the next meeting.
The next meeting is on the 13th.
Yeah, that's 2 weeks' time. I know.
Yeah.
I know. I'm not going to get that done in the next 2 weeks. There's stuff I need to do for my business. There's other stuff I've got to do. I've got taxes, all sorts of things. So I'm not going to be able to get that done. There's a lot going on.
Taiwo? That's 3 weeks from now?
When is the 20th? I will try. I will aim to do that, but by the next meeting, no.
Okay, so let's say by the 20th. That's not the next meeting, it's the week after the next meeting, 20th of February.
I would probably suggest not the next meeting, the one after that. So that's 4 weeks.
Okay. So before we settle on a date with that, let me just suggest the last thing that we thought of that came out of this issue of being a group, and put that together of the feeling of working as a team and the need to have proof of concept. So we started thinking about maybe doing a conference again, and then we decided that instead of a conference, to have proof of concept to create the group feeling is what we want to do in March, which is the International Women's Month. International Women's Day is there, so it's International Women's Month. We thought if we would have enough content in our work groups for the promotion, relationships, purpose, health, and wealth, that we can work on it, that we can do a live webinar each week in March. Each team would do a live webinar on the information that they've already collected to have for one, proof of concept out, but also proof of concept in, test the material. We've been working on it for a couple of months by then. Let's put it together, an hour presentation as in the working teams, and see how it sounds, see how it feels, see how it's received. And that we would promote like we did in the summer. We promote it as a series, not as individual things, but as a series of the series of women leading into the future. And we would have each week, I think Hannah spoke with you guys about it when she talked about the design team. And each week, another team would take on the webinar. And we would promote it as one package. So that's why we wanted Annie to start working on her webinar earlier, so that we could start advertising earlier for the series. You know, so that way we
I
can
like
get,
this. I like this series. I think it's great,
Mm.
especially I've been asked to speak at a big event at the end of the month for International Women's Day called Metamorphosis, and I'm one of the guest speakers. So that's pretty cool.
nice.
And 3.5 years ago, I went to that event and I sat there watching all these women going up, going, I'd love to be up there. 3.5 years later, I'm one of the guest speakers.
Amazing.
So very, very tickled pink and scared at the same time, because I don't want to, as we talked earlier, I don't want to do, I'm just going to go and inspire. I actually want to create some kind of transformation. So I've got 20 minutes, so I have no idea how I'm going to do that, but okay, I'll figure it out.
Sure will.
Yeah.
Thank you. Give it up for Annie. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so everyone is agreed to do the series in March.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hannah recommended some dates for you guys. So I'll just say what they are, and let's see if there's an issue. We have here.
Already given there's only one date that we can do, so I've already I've passed that on to Hannah. The purpose group, we can only do it on the 31st of March, so Hannah's got that date.
Purpose of March, 31st of March. Purpose. Okay, so we'll do that offline, set out the dates, who's doing what. But the thing is with Annie's webinar has to be earlier so that we can market it. I'll build the platform like I did the last time, and Stephanie, can you help me with the content, the emails and stuff? Yes. Okay. Thank you. And what else did I want? And that was why also I wanted, if we can have the video of all of us together earlier rather than later, it would help, because that can be a great promo for the series.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah. And also another thing that came up is what we'd like to advertise for it as well. So since we don't have one advertising budget together, I would suggest, if it's okay, that everybody in their own, everybody promote it in their own platform, and we decide on a budget that is acceptable to everybody to advertise for it. Like, we can create the copy and the text and the picture and everything to do, but I don't know if we'll do it as a team. What do you think about that?
I think it'll mix the brand.
It'll mix the brand?
Yeah, and I'm not keen. Yeah, I think we need to try. We need to just do. I think we haven't got the organic stuff right yet.
That's exactly the reason why we need to advertise.
Yeah, no, but I've Facebook. I don't feel confident enough in Facebook advertising to be willing to do that at this stage. I think, at this stage, in that way, certainly for me personally. Can I just make a point also, is that I think that now we've got to a point now that we need to be more if we're going to be doing things like responding to International Women's Day and things like that, we need to start looking ahead, because we are very reactive, and then there's this expectation that we're going to put we're going to not jump at that sounds negative, but that this is happening and so we'll do it. And I think it's a great idea, but now we need to be more strategic about the way that we do things and agree things in advance so that we can plan that, because I don't have staff and it's just me, and I'm my own breadwinner, and so it's just me. And so if the time that I'm putting into this, I'm not putting into my own business and stuff, and so it's difficult to just respond but if we have a calendar and say that these are the things that we're going to do, so we know we're going to be working, there's something around the 10,000 women thing in October, we know that we're going to be doing something International Women's Day, we know that there's something some day that comes up in the year that we want to focus around, we know that Valentine's Day is around, that we focus and we stick to that. And because it is too reactive, and I feel that it just starts pulling us in directions, and it just becomes a bit overwhelming, and it affects the energy of the group, I think.
I think we should start preparing something like this, the calendar for the year, and having put down when we have webinars, when we have courses, when we have whatever, so that everybody's aware.
Yeah.
The most we can, then life is going always to show us something that was not in the plan. That's okay, but it's not everything coming each time and just responding. So what I can do is just to send this piece of paper I have for me, if you want, and it's very good because you have the in this case you have the month on the side, so it gives continuity instead of the calendars done on the other side. So it gives more continuity, and we can start putting down all that we know is already going on.
Great.
So that it already gives us a clarity on, the timings and things like that. Because, for example, I think, scheduled for March. So my understanding is I'm not going to have the webinar in March, obviously. But I just come to know it now. So and I was already, I had already started working on it. So it's time for me. So the best is that to make the group, I think everything should be available for everybody all the time. We have a team, so everything needs to be available for not only the team. We speak, we wait. I think the ideas and everything circulate better because we are not working in the same place. We all live in different countries with different timings and different necessities. So this would help to link more, I think, and bring up the energy because maybe we have talks in between or whatever. So it brings us more awareness of what's really going on for the team.
I think, and also in terms of organic reach and getting people engaged and bringing up, is that if we know in advance what we're doing, then we can plan our own stuff to fit in with the stuff that's happening with women leading into the future. But if the whole webinar thing, it comes as a surprise, and we don't know what the theme is, and we don't know, do you know what I mean? And then how do you market it to your people if it's not congruent with what you're marketing or what you're focusing on at that point? But if we have the information in advance, so we know that, so this time next year we know that Annie's going to be doing a webinar on relationships, then we can start feeding that into our people in our own marketing, etc., and that, I think, would enable us to feel more as a team and start fielding people into the group stuff more. Okay,
great point, ladies. So what can you guys work, Taiwo and Simona, on a calendar of what we have already? Because we have a lot of things.
I can't. No,
you can't. Simona, you can't do anything now 2 weeks
until the last weekend next week.
And also, we don't have the overview. You have the overview.
Then I will make it. No problem.
Yeah, we don't. I don't know what is. I don't have the overview.
We all have the same thing because we know exactly what the webinars are because the webinar page we all filled in, the Facebook page we all filled in, the conference in October we all know about it. This was now we just thought about it last week, so maybe I should have shared it before, but I thought that strategically I talked about one issue at a time. And the issue that we brought up was the 10,000 women. That was just the thought of it from the meeting that we had last Thursday. But
where can we do this? I mean, I'm happy to do it. I might even get Julian to create it. But where?
Let's talk about it, Annie, if you want to do. Let's talk about it, you and I, outside of this, and we'll get the calendar.
We have a session after this. Yeah. Okay.
So we'll get the calendar going. I'll write it down. And I will ask Linda to the Trilio or whatever it's called, Trello. I'll ask her to open up all the groups to everybody. So
can you ask her also to do like maybe a 5-minute tutorial just to explain to us how it works? Because I've never used it before, and it would just be really helpful.
Okay.
Just be really helpful. Like a screen share or something.
Okay. Open it up and short tutorial.
I would say probably YouTube would have something.
But
it's okay. We can do it. It's in there. It's pretty populated. I know Stephanie did a lot of work on it. I put a lot of stuff inside of it also to populate it. But
you guys are the techies, man. I have no clue.
Okay, so we can get a training out so you can have a clue. So we'll open it up. Simona, would that help if all the information was open to everyone and you could just look and see what's going on? There's also something there. I mean, I don't want to go into it, but there's a board there called the notice board. That is actually the board there for new ideas and information, and it's already open up to everybody. It's got links that are, but anyway, we won't do that now. We'll give a short presentation, maybe in a video she can do, so everyone can see it. So calendar and more information. Okay, so I think that's it for today. Any other issue that's open, Stephanie?
I just didn't get to finish my comment.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right. I've got no problem with advertising. I think at some point we've got to talk about money, and we've got to talk about putting some sort of investment forward in this. I mean, like with any business, you invest before you get something back. So I think that topic is still open and we still need to discuss that. I've got no problem with advertising. I just think if we try to advertise, particularly with the way Facebook works and with the different varying levels of understanding how Facebook ads work, we're not going to get the optimum outcome. I think if we advertise from our Women Leading to the Future page, targeted to our webinar, no problem with that. But we have to talk about the financial investment. Again, I have no problem with any of that. It's just that's the follow-up.
Okay. Thank you. I agree with you also, but we're not going to discuss it today. We'll have to come up with maybe a proposal, an idea, and then bring it to the group. Is that okay? Okay. So any other comments before we close for today? Any other open loops that need to be addressed? No. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. You have something, or you're just happy, Annie?
I'm just happy.
Good.
I'm freaking out on the inside about my webinar, but that's okay.
Yeah, you're going to be great. You're going to be great.
Okay,
Okay,
I got
so
have my back tomorrow.
You'll be fine.
You'll be great. So let's
get used to it now.
Pal, you wanted to say something?
Oh, just an idea. If anybody have any idea pops up, that if we can have a group slogan, it's like one sentence or two sentences, like women leading in the future. Like whatever web banner we start or whatever video we start, if we can all together have that slogan on the opening or on the ending, so people will know our brand. Like we stand for women leading into the future instead of individual. Like, so I think that would kind of help the branding. If anybody have like a perfect slogan that pops up.
Okay.
Yeah.
We take it under advisement.
So I think what Pal is suggesting is that for the video, if we're going to do the video, that the video start right or end with the slogan, so that there's unity between each shot. Is that correct, Pal?
Yeah, like an anchor. Even it's like women leading into the future. Like
what, do you mean for the video or the webinar? Because that's going to take like 10 seconds of the webinar, of the video.
Video.
Yeah, I think it, like
do you mean the video or the webinar?
Like maybe both. Like, everything like the webinar, maybe we can like say, oh, women leading in the future. Well, welcome to our webinar. Like, so then people will know, this is the brand.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. So to incorporate it into your videos, start off, hi, this is Taiwo from Women Leading into the Future, or finish it with, yeah, this is for you guys, ladies. Let's say Women Leading into the Future. I think that could be this. Can that be the slogan? Is that okay? Women Leading into the Future?
Why don't we allow it to evolve?
Yeah,
let's allow it to evolve. It's just an idea. We don't have to implement it right now. Let's just let it evolve.
Yeah. But what happens tomorrow if I do my video tomorrow, Taiwo? I'm a fast worker.
But we know that we all know that we're with women leading. The video is going to go out as the videos are going out as women leading into the future. We're not posting them as individuals. I'm understanding. So the fact that we're doing a video together says that we're women leading in the future. My understanding is that so for instance, if we went into the Facebook group and did a Facebook Live, I'm not there as Taiwo, I'm there as Taiwo from Women Leading into the Future. That's my understanding. But if we're doing it as a package, we don't need to keep saying that because people know that we wouldn't be there unless we were women leading in the future. That's
Excellent.
what my thinking.
And to my understanding, a slogan is something different, because
Yeah, that's
more
the title.
what we created with the tap, for example, that's more of a slogan, I think. So coming from our stories, coming from our values, coming from everything, something that really represents us more in the action of something, more in the, so that when you think about that, woo, then the idea of women leading into the future comes back to you. So it's
can you guys on the avatar team brainstorm some ideas, because you guys are the closest to the
creative.
Here's one for you.
The connection.
Here's one for you. We grow people.
We grow people.
In more ways than one.
Yeah. So let's think about it. Put it in the group if you have any ideas.
Trust your power to give us to start something new now.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes, I will see it's been given. So I'm just put it out there. If anybody, it's like sharp, then they downloaded something. Oh, this kick ass, and this is us, and just shout it out. Yeah. It's like, let it be.
Very cool.
Okay.
So
right.
Guys, what do you feel like saying? And sign off.
This was awesome. That's what I feel like saying. Taiwo, what do you feel like saying?
Good meeting. That's what I feel like saying. Stephanie, what do you feel like saying?
Thanks, Taiwo. I feel like saying, on to the next thing. How, what do you feel like saying?
Thank you, Stephanie. What I feel like saying is like, kick my ass. Thank you. Simona, what do you like saying?
Thank you, Pao. That from now on, I'm going to try to focus on what I have to do tomorrow. That's what I feel like saying. Mindy, what do you feel like saying?
Thank you, Simona. I feel like saying, women leading into the future.
Yay.
So guys, we'll be in touch during the next 2 weeks. Good luck to everybody in your big programs. And let's be in touch in the Facebook group, in the WhatsApp group.
All the best, ladies. Steph, I'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.